IMHO. I'm Kelcey. That's Lang. And today we're going to be talking about something so fun because earlier this week, we had probably the most iconic lineup of women's basketball for the Elite Eight, where we had four, I guess two each, huge names going against each other to get their way into the Final Four. I actually, don't tell our boss, but I turned off the Grizzlies game halfway through to watch the LSU versus Iowa.
I didn't turn on the Grizzly game. I just watched LSU Iowa the whole time.
Well, I had to do Kelcey's keys.
That's true. And then I stuck around for USC UConn.
Yeah, you got to. You got to. The Women's March Madness, shout out to the men, of course. The Women's March Madness has been so flippin' good this year.
I think I've watched more of the Women's March Madness than the men's.
I for sure did. It's been an absolute blockbuster. So we're going to talk about some of our favorite female basketball players of all time. When I say of all time, it's so crazy because two of mine are still here. Yeah. But it's of our time. So let's go. Do you have any one you want to give a shout out that didn't make your top three?
My honorable mentions, a shooting guard out of Canada, Kelcey Wright Johnson, a sharpshooter. Defense wasn't really her thing.
No, I was 3D.
I'm just making this up. I don't know.
I was like, no, I was good at defense.
I'm going to go with Kelcey.
Passing, dribbling wasn't her thing, but man.
My number three, I'm going to go with Caitlin Clark, who we saw just this week make it to the Final Four, beating LSU. But I feel like this year, particularly watching her play, is sort of like when Tiger Woods was in his prime, and on Sunday you had to tune in and watch Tiger. It feels like that watching Caitlin play. She's unbelievable. It's fun to watch her play, and I really enjoy watching her
When
play.
she hit her 8th three, I said, oh my God. It will be at no surprise if a couple years from now there are young girls who are like Caitlin Clark is their GOAT. I don't think anyone is going to be surprised at that.
It's hard to put her too high on the list because we haven't seen her in the WNBA.
Of course.
But who cares?
Yeah.
She's the best college player arguably of all time.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, my number three, Bennett called it a deep cut, but I'm going to go with Natalie Achonwa. She plays in the WNBA right now.
That's a deep cut.
It is, but I'm going to tell you why she's one of my favorites.
All right.
Not only because I played with her growing up, but she was the first female who from Canada went to a big school in the States on a scholarship, and she kind of opened that door for a lot of the girls, the Kia Nurses, the Aaliyah Edwards, who plays on UConn right now. She kind of opened that door for a lot of Canadians, and so I put her at my top three because of what she did. It was way above her, way before her time, going and playing D1 at a big school. She went to Notre Dame.
Trailblazer. I've got my last two are old school throwback ones. So
okay, I only have one that's a old school.
Number two for me is going to be Cheryl Swoops.
Okay.
Who won 3 WNBA MVPs, won 4 championships. Wasn't it really an amazing two-way player? She won 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards in the WNBA. But also she was the first woman to have a signature shoe from Nike, the Air Swoops, which came out. There were 2 different versions that came out, but there was an Air Swoops 1 and an Air Swoops 2. So I'll go Cheryl Swoops.
I should have chosen her.
Who else you got?
I had a Lisa Leslie jersey growing up, but she didn't even make my... Okay, my
make the
number
list.
2 is Kelsey Plum.
Okay.
She currently plays on Las Vegas Aces. One, she's really good. I'm sure you've seen her. She won a championship. Or
former scoring leader, college scoring leader, right? Caitlin passed her this year.
Kelsey Plum is also just so cool. She has this cool factor about her where she's not the best player on her team. She's actually not... I guess she's probably the 3rd best player on her team. But something about her, she just has that it factor. She seems like the glue of the Las Vegas Aces, who are champions on champions. Yeah. And she's cool, and I just really like her whole vibe. Plus, she's really good to watch. She's my height, and she just she's so friggin' good.
She's amazing. My number 1 is going to be a really deep cut. Teresa Edwards. I don't know if you remember the name. She played at the University of Georgia, and then she was sort of before the WNBA. She won 4 gold medals for the United States in the Olympics. And she's in the Basketball Hall of Fame and the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, the FIBA Hall of Fame, all those different things. When I was a kid, she played at Georgia, and I ran into her at a church league game. She was watching somebody else play, and she got up shots at halftime, and I got to rebound for her.
That's cool.
And I was like, wow, this is
cool.
Pretty amazing. And she, anyway, she's my number 1. Who you got number 1?
Okay, so my number 1 I don't think played in the WNBA either, but I have a story behind it too.
Is it going to be you?
No, imagine.
Oh, okay.
I am my favorite. My favorite is Cheryl Miller. Growing up, my brother was 6 years older than me and he played basketball, and we always used to joke about how we could go play 2-on-2 and like bet people money and like make a bunch of money because he could just score and I could just like sit in the corner because I could shoot. I could always shoot, just like boom, boom, boom. I can't like do much else, but I could shoot. And everyone always used to be like, "Oh my God, you guys are like Millers. Like you could go and like school people." And they have stories about like going and like just schooling people as this like sibling duo. And so I always grew up being like, she's just so cool, like to be able to just go like play some boys and like make them pay literally and figuratively. So I think she's my number one.
That's cool.
Very cool. Shout out the women. You guys are running the world right now because this tournament has been so amazing. We want to know who some of your favorite female basketball players are. Let us know in the comments below, and we'll be back next week.